And welcome to a new episode of The Simpsons Did It. I'm your host, Stephen Thompson.
Hello, Mr. Thompson. I'm your co-host, Robert Thompson. Wait, that was last episode. We should have probably gone to witness relocation.
Yeah, probably. Well, this week we're the Thompsons because we have a murderous psychopath hot on our tail.
Yeah. Also, do you like musicals?
Sometimes.
Okay.
If there's weed involved. Reefer Madness is a pretty good musical.
Wait, Reefer Madness was a musical?
It was a musical. Go back and watch it. It was fantastic.
Well, how about comedy musicals?
Oh, comedy musicals are pretty good too. Little Shop of Horrors.
Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
I saw that. That was really good.
There's some good ones out there.
Yeah, but so maybe we can use some musicals to distract the psycho killer after us.
Oh, we could probably do that. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
But in the real world, I'm Steven Skolansky.
And I'm Robert Skolansky.
And so this week, it's gonna be could be murderous, I think. A lot of dying, a lot of threatening. It's gonna be good.
Hey, Steve, you want to see my hockey mask and chainsaw?
It's chainsaw and hockey mask.
Whatever. So this week, we are doing season 5, episode 2, Cape Feare. This episode is a parody of the 1962 film Cape Feare, starring Gregory Peck and Robert Mitchum.
I think I've seen most of it.
I've never seen either version.
Yeah, the problem is I don't necessarily watch older films, but when they're on like AMC or IFC or TNT or a lot of those other, I'll catch them when they're on, but I don't think I've ever sat down and physically watched this movie front to back.
No. So the air date is October 7th, 1993. So we're getting inching closer and closer to Treehouse of Horror. The recap: an anonymous writer makes threats to Bart and the As an anonymous writer makes threats to Bart, and the Simpsons discover it is Sideshow Bob.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Again.
With
that Sideshow Bob.
Voiced by the incomparable Kelsey Grammer, as always.
I'd say every year, but I think at some point they stopped Sideshow Bob yearly.
Oh.
Yeah. I think we're on third year in a row with the Sideshow Bob. So
such a great character. Chalkboard gag this week. The cafeteria deep fryer is not a toy. No, it is not.
But it can be for deep frying toys.
But you won't want to eat the toys after you deep fry them anyways.
No, but it would be fun. Go to G.I. Joe and breading, deep fry them. Could be fun. Now, I didn't think students were allowed in the cafeteria.
Well, they're not, but I'm sure because it's Bart, he finds a way.
What do you think he deep fried, though? Millhouse?
Malibu Stacy doll.
Oh, Malibu Stacy doll. Deep fried Millhouse.
Right, after that, we're moving on. Couch gag for the 4th time.
Well, you know we're going to have to talk about eating students.
Yeah, that's a Treehouse of Horror episode.
Yeah, but Millhouse.
So our couch gag this week, and for the 4th time in this series, we get the circus line couch gag.
Yep. What a fantastic couch gag. To see it an extra, 5 seconds tacked onto this episode. I think I could have done a little bit more HMS Pinafore.
They could have
stretched that out just a little bit more.
Also, this is not going to be the first time in this episode where we see a couch gag.
Yep. Yeah. So 2 couch gags. Kind of like that one episode with Marge. We got 2 chalkboard gags.
Yes. Yeah. So
now we get an episode with 2 couch gags.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Something a little bit different. And that one's not a repeat.
No.
Which is nice. Yeah. So we actually get a new couch gag this episode.
Within the episode.
So perfect.
It's couchception.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we start off the episode with the late night show. So most actors, I would say, don't necessarily turn late night show hosts, except for pretty recently. We got, Stephen Colbert.
He wasn't really, he was an actor, but he's always been kind of that late night host. Kind of. Because he had his own show on Comedy Central for the longest time.
But then Jimmy Fallon, he was an actor.
He was on SNL.
That's still acting.
That was more improv.
Oh, sure. Well, what do you think late night hosting is?
I would Yeah, okay, that's fair.
So
I don't really know if there's. I mean, I guess probably the closest one would be Craig Ferguson because he acted before he had his late night.
yeah. But this episode, we get Up Late with McBain.
McBain.
And I like how he goes with his stage name.
Yeah.
And not Rainier Wolfcastle. like would it normally be Up Late with Rainier Wolfcastle?
Sure would be.
Because normally you don't play your role on a late night show.
Yeah.
Unless you want to stay in character.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yep. And so the announcer that we see is wearing a Nazi uniform. Because Rainier Wolfcastle is German.
Yeah.
And yeah, obviously for very good reason, this episode was banned in Germany for depicting violence against a child and depicting a character holding the ranking of
Gruberführer?
Ubergruberführer.
Yeah.
And wearing the complete SS officer uniform.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, Germany has strict laws prohibiting the use of Nazi references and symbols unless it is for educational or historic reasons, which obviously this is not. I mean, they do it for documentaries, which would make sense. Displaying the swastika alone is enough to get someone put in prison for a year, which, you know,
Why do we do that in America?
Because
Germany's got it right, man.
My freedoms. Nevertheless, the episode was dubbed and finally aired in Germany in 1999, with the first scene edited, making it start with Bart and Lisa receiving, as we'll find out, they receive some mail. And also later in this episode, one of the parole board people says no one who speaks German could be an evil man, which received no controversy.
Yeah. All right. So McBain obviously has a musical guest, and
well, I think it's just like his house band guy.
Oh yeah. Scoey. Yep. And he's like, "Hey Scoey, that outfit makes you look like a homosexual."
Boo.
You all might be homosexuals too.
Yeah, this is actually, for that time, this is a really kind of good joke because they kind of admonish people for making, gay jokes, and this is 93.
Yeah.
So that's
But he's
good.
also German, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
And I like how we cut out to the kids, and they're like, "Oh, Fox is sunk to a new low." I mean, The Simpsons have been on there now, coming on 5 years, so...
I think it's because, they did this because they didn't win their Emmy.
Yeah, exactly. Last season, they didn't win their Emmy, so they're like, we're going to make fun of Fox again. And so Marge comes in, "Hey, kids, you got some mail."
So I have a question. This is supposed to be a late night talk show, right?
Yeah.
Those usually air at 10:30 or later.
Yeah.
So, A, why are the kids up? Because they're 10 and 8.
And how did the mail just arrive?
Well, I mean, I guess the only thing I can think of is the mail came at its normal time, and then nobody checked it until 10:30.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, most normal people check their mail when they get home from work.
Yeah, and I think the kids traditionally have a pretty solid bedtime.
Yeah, it's like 8:30.
They have a pretty solid bedtime.
So, it's weird. It's just a weird
unless
thing.
they were watching, I'd say they were watching it on TiVo or something, like recorded, but I don't think TiVo's around.
VHS.
They could have recorded it.
Can The Simpsons afford it, VHS?
I think so.
Okay.
As we learned last episode, Homer stashed that Big Sharp's money. He just didn't want anyone to know that he had it.
Yeah.
And so Lisa gets a pen pal letter, and so we hear a voice over the girl saying that their president is getting overthrown, and then halfway through the letter, it turns into the president, and then at the end, it's like, "Sincerely, little girl." I mean, why was the president of the new regime?
Well, I don't know if it was the president or one of his guys finishing the letter. All hail President Kroll.
Yeah. But apparently she got killed or kidnapped or
they're like, "No, we're finishing this letter for you."
Yeah, we can't have you talk about the government being overthrown.
Yeah.
And then Bart gets a letter. Looks like blood.
Yeah.
Says, "I'm going to kill you."
Yeah.
And I feel like Bart has this coming. He has a lot of enemies. Principal Skinner, although I don't think he's that devious.
Willie,
stealing his tractor.
Yeah.
Nelson. I can see Nelson doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the bullies.
The bullies. We'll learn later on.
Yeah.
Who it is.
And we see a hand, cutting their finger and writing in blood, and then there's a to-do list.
Yep. Exactly. Yes. I do all my to-do lists in blood.
Oh.
It makes me want to do them more because I'm using my blood.
What was on this to-do list?
Laundry.
Okay.
And threaten Bart.
Okay.
And he added buying corn holders. Because he's in prison and needs corn holders to stab people?
Well, I mean, yeah, they're pointy.
Yeah. Not for corn. He just needed them
as a shank.
Shank, yes, exactly. I don't know how he's going to buy them. He's in prison, but
well,
sure.
Hey, man, if you know that guy in prison who can sneak anything in.
I don't want to see those go up my ass.
Wow.
Unless they're those corn holders that actually click together. I've seen those with the pointy ends click together so that way you don't accidentally stab yourself.
Yes.
But yeah. So now we cut back home and we get an Itchy and Scratchy episode. Spay Anything, which is a reference to the movie Say Anything. And when Say Anything was the 80s.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't think this episode has anything to do with Say Anything.
No,
you don't see Itchy holding up a boombox over his head, serenading Scratchy. See, that would have been good. And then
the boombox explodes on Scratchy.
Exactly.
There you go. There you go, Simpsons writers.
Yeah, we solved your Say Anything, Spay Anything debacle.
Yeah.
But then we get the spoof of the laser scene from Goldfinger, which this is the first instance of a spoof of the laser scene from Goldfinger.
Nice.
So we go to Itchy's cat hospital, and Itchy is standing next to a sign that reads, "Pay your pet $75."
Why would you pay your pet $75?
I don't know, but he's covering up the S, and he steps aside, and he's like, "Yes, I tricked him." And so Scratchy goes in, and he's strapped to the table, and Scratchy pulls the plug on the machine with his tongue. I like how it does the whole. Is it Dr. No? That's the villain in Goldfinger?
I think so.
Or no, is it Goldfinger? Goldfinger. It's the duh.
It's actually Goldmember.
Goldmember. But just like Goldfinger, he walks out of the room, just like a lot of Bond villains. Oh, he's gonna die. I'll leave. I don't need to stay here and watch how this is gonna turn out.
Yeah.
And Scratchy, pulls the plug with his tongue, just flips it through around the laser.
Tongue.
Yeah. And this is the first. Well, was it a couple seasons ago with the moon episode where Itchy stretches his tongue all the way to the moon?
Yeah.
That's how he got the long tongue. And now it turned into a giant muscle so he can move it around. And pulls the plug. So Itchy runs back in, plugs the machine back in.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But now the laser goes completely haywire for some reason. And cuts Scratchy up to itty bitty bits.
Yes.
But what's funny is we cut back and Lisa is laughing because
it's funny.
But Bart's not. But is Bart really that on edge off of one letter?
Well, as we see later, he's got at least a dozen.
But I feel like that letter that he got was his first letter of the chain.
Yeah, but we don't know if there's a time hop in between when he gets the first letter in the Itchy and Scratchy episode.
Yeah.
So maybe he's gotten a couple more since then.
Yep. And so now Homer's in the hallway.
Yep.
And he opens up a letter that reads, "Die, Bart, die." And he thinks someone's trying to kill him. He's like, "Oh, this is for Bart."
Oh, God. That is fantastic. Somebody's trying to kill me. Oh, wait. It's for Bart. And I missed this detail on the first viewing. But on the second viewing, when Homer is opening up the letter, and he screams, everybody runs into the hallway. The cat and the dog also come, but we also notice there is a little mouse hole in the stairs, and a little mouse comes out too.
Yeah, really strange.
Well, I mean, they probably don't take too good of their property, so they probably have some ice.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Or maybe they have a pet mouse. They just keep it in the stairs.
Well, we have seen cracks in walls and other things. We're going to have to put a pin in that and see if that mouse hole still exists in future episodes. Or maybe that was just some sort of throwaway gag?
I guess.
I don't know. It just seems really
weird.
Well,
because they have a dog, they have a cat, now they have a mouse.
Right.
Or maybe that's the real Itchy.
That's the real Itchy that was made. Yeah, he was blue, I think, too.
Yeah,
right?
he was, yeah. So now we cut to the kitchen and we see there are dozens of letters written in blood, all threatening Bart, except there's one that's not written in blood and it's written in a different handwriting.
It says, "I kill you, scum."
And it just happens to be from Homer because he's so upset after Bart tattooed Homer's butt to say wide load.
Did it in the middle of the night.
Probably. That's a great joke.
Yep. Yeah.
And so, everybody in the family's laughing. Abe is there, which, I don't know, well, I mean, I guess he came over for a visit.
It was Sunday.
Yeah. And the weirdest one to me was even Nelson. He's looking through the kitchen window and he laughs. And I'm just like, did they just put him there to shoehorn in his laugh?
Yes. Yes, they did. Well, Nelson likes roaming around the neighborhood, stealing bikes and...
I suppose, but... And so, Bart is like, well, who would want to kill me? I'm the modern day Dennis the Menace. Yeah, Dennis the Menace. Yo. Menace is in his name.
Well, he has a slingshot just like Dennis the Menace. You think?
Bart is kind of based off Dennis the Menace.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the closest thing I could think of. But yet, we still haven't gotten the slingshot.
No, we haven't. I don't think.
That's just really weird to be on season 5 now and still not have the slingshot. It's kind of crazy.
And so Homer is like, well, it's probably the person you least suspect. And Lisa's like, thanks, Dad.
Yeah.
And so, and then we cut to Amy. He's like, let's call Matlock. Yep. Maybe it's that one guy, Matlock. And Bart's like, Matlock's not real. And he's like, neither are my teeth, but I can still eat corn. As long as somebody mashes it up into a fine paste. That's good eating.
Yeah.
So now we cut to Bart at school, and he's hiding in the jungle gym and on the playground.
Yeah, and Milhouse walks in. I checked around. The girls are calling you fatty fat fat fat, and Nelson's planning to pull down your pants. But nobody's trying to kill you.
Well, see, none of the kids want to kill Bart.
Yeah.
And so after Milhouse tells him this, Nelson sneaks into the jungle gym with Bart and pantses him.
Yes.
And then all the girls are chanting fatty fat 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 at Bart.
Well, Milhouse is right. Yeah. They were planning to do that.
It's good. It's good stuff. Yeah, I've never had anybody threaten to kill me, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never had to hide in the jungle gym as a 10-year-old.
No. Ever been pantsed?
I mean, maybe. I'm sure it's happened a couple times in my life.
Yep.
Maybe in college when we were all drunk. So then, now we cut to the next morning. Maybe the next morning.
Probably the next morning,
And Bart gets woken up by his radio where somebody requested a song with a message to say, Bart is going to get killed slow and painfully. And then they play Wipeout. Wipeout! That's such a cheerful song for such a threatening message.
Yes. Do you think Sideshow Bob requested Wipeout on top of his message, or do you think he just put the message in?
I'm going to go with he requested both.
Okay.
He put the message in and he requested Wipeout.
Okay.
And so now we cut downstairs and Marge is cutting out coupons and she's like, Bart, I'm going to get you. And she's pointing scissors at him. And then she's like, some ice cream because I'm saving so much money on Diet Cola. And she's like saving 75 cents on, I don't know, a 12-pack, a bottle. I don't know. That's pretty good, 75 cents.
Yeah. Bart is so on edge right now.
Yeah, he's really on edge. So he walks out. I guess he's walking to school. Yep. He's got his backpack and a little notebook with his name on it. And Ned jumps out from behind a bush with a Freddy Krueger glove, which obviously a reference to Freddy Krueger. And he's like, Bart, you better say your prayers because the schools can't force him like they should.
Oh, that was awesome.
And then Maude comes out with some lemonade for Ned. And Ned's like, oh, these shearing gloves are so nice. And you cut to a wide view and he trimmed the bush to be an angel.
Now, I was thinking about that. I don't know what year Edward Scissorhands came out. But I feel like that could have been... If it's true, I mean, that could have been a reference to that. But yeah, if it's after the fact.
Edward Scissorhands came out in 1990.
Okay, so that almost... Now, if they were... Now, it would be kind of cool if they were like scissor gloves like Edward Scissorhands. Yeah. But that's what Edward Scissorhands did with his scissors.
But the thing is, it was the one glove.
And no, but I think the joke of Freddy Krueger was fine. But the angel hedge...
Maybe
with the hands is more of like an Edward Scissorhands
maybe.
pull.
We don't know. We'll have to ask. So yeah, Ned made I said angel hedge bush thingy.
Yes.
Because I don't know what you would call it. What are those called? Like hedge statues?
Cape Feare statues?
Yeah. So then we cut to school, and Krabappel goes up to Bart. She's like, "You're going to be my murder victim, Bart, in the school play, where Nelson is playing the killer. 40 whacks with a wet noodle, Bart."
Oh my god. You know, it's really weird, and I don't, obviously, up to season 32 now, they haven't done it, but are they lightly trying to say that Martin is gay? I mean, with all the stuff we've had, he's dressing up like a fairy, doing the skirt thing, this. I don't know if like the Simpsons were subtly trying to do it because they haven't really gotten into those episodes.
Well, I know they did it with Smithers,
but that's later on.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they were lightly trying to do this, but so far, I don't think anything relative to Martin and being gay. But it's just really odd. Yeah. It seems like an odd thing that through four seasons so far, we've seen Martin cross-dress.
Yeah.
For multiple
maybe he's things. Just a cross-dresser.
Yeah, it could be.
So then, so after all that, Marge goes to the police station to get some help. And Wiggum's like, there's no law against mailing threatening letters.
He's like, I'd like to help you, ma'am, but I'm afraid there's no law against mailing threatening letters. I'm pretty sure there is. The day I take cop lessons from Ma Kettle. Hey, and then Lou walks in. Hey, she's right, Chief. Well, shut my mouth. It's also illegal to put squirrels down your pants for the purposes of gambling.
And also in this entire scene, so when we first see Wiggum across from Marge, there is a letter above it, or a poster above his shoulder that says reward. But then when you cut it to a closer shot, it says wanted, with a picture that appears to be Fat Tony.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, that's the funny thing about animation. Yeah. In real live action stuff, continuity for background stuff, pretty normal.
Unless you put a Starbucks coffee in there.
Exactly. And the funny thing about that is, working on movie sets, I learned that there is someone's job.
Yep.
There is literally someone's job to take pictures of sets, so that way when they have to reset to do another take, they know where everything goes. The animation person that does this job failed.
Or maybe they don't have somebody for that.
Failed.
So anyway, we learned it is illegal. Now, I actually tried to find an actual law against putting squirrels down your pants for gambling purposes. I couldn't find any.
Yeah.
So if anybody out there listening, if you live in like a small town, because like a lot of small towns have
weird laws. Well, remember the monorail episode? Chief Wiggum and Mayor Quimby go to the thing to look at the laws.
Yeah.
And there was something about someone gets a fair lass.
Yeah. Oh, Chief Wiggum.
And then something about a duck, right?
Yeah.
So I do like, this is kind of the start of Quimby learning about new random laws in the town of Springfield.
So if anybody out there has a random law about putting squirrels in your pants, I'd really love to hear it. But we also cut to the other cops in another room with squirrels, with one guy with squirrels in his pants. I know you asked me, well, what's the point?
No. What were they betting on? What was the gamble?
I'm pretty sure the gamble
is... Which squirrel was going to bite his nuts?
Well, maybe that's the gamble, or which squirrel's going to come out of the pants leg first.
I think the squirrel going after the nuts. Which squirrel bites the nuts first?
It depends on if, because I think it was Eddie had the squirrels in his pants. So depending on if he had extra layers, I don't know. So, so don't put squirrels in your pants, kids.
Yep. And so now we cut back to the Simpson home, and Lisa's with Bart. She's like, Bart, I figured it out. Who's been making irritating phone calls to you for years? Linda Lavin?
And yes, she is a real actress.
No, someone who deserved it. And so Lisa calls Mo. She's like, Mo, we know it was you. Stop now or we'll call the cops. And then Mo's like, okay, we'll stop. And then Mo goes to his back room where he's hoarding pandas. And it's a lot of pandas. You see like probably 6 or 7 pandas running out of Mo's. And
what was he going to do with the pandas?
I don't know, but this is not... So I just love these gags because Simpsons writers just like to hold on to these sometimes. So in a future episode, Moe is housing another animal in his back room that the FBI is after.
Oh, the whale.
Yeah, so...
That's the X-Files episode.
Yes. So Moe and his illegal deeds in the back room. And I always thought that was like a bathroom, but apparently it's like...
No, because you can see the men's
Oh, that's
room.
off to the left of that room. Yep, okay. That makes sense. And so, Bart yells out his window. He's like, that he knows whoever it is out there, and he wants to know where. And so we cut to Springfield State Penitentiary, where Sideshow Bob is writing more letters.
In blood.
And one of the things after he's done writing another note, he starts writing a note to the Life in the United States section of the Reader's Digest. And then he passes out. And
blood loss.
Yes, so we hear Snake's like, I told you to use a pen, Bob. Because, yes, blood will definitely make you pass out.
Yeah,
especially if you lose too much of it.
I don't know how much, I really want to know how much blood he's using from his finger, though. Like, how much blood would it write? Like, I kind of want to ask somebody, how much blood would it take to write the words, just die, Bart, die? Because those are, like, the shortest letter he wrote.
Yeah.
Like, would it take a pint? Would it take a half a pint?
Probably not much. I mean, I feel like just a prick of your finger doesn't...
Yeah, but how much blood comes out?
Well, not much. Okay, so remember when we donated plasma?
Yeah.
And they had to do, the squeeze test.
Yeah.
Like, they poke your finger and squeeze.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on your blood flow, blood came out either pretty quickly or really slowly.
Yeah.
It didn't necessarily stream because they always had to squeeze your finger to get the blood in. So I don't know if a finger blood vessel is the best for even writing. I don't even know how possible or plausible that.
So if there's any doctors that listen to our podcast, I would like to know what is the best way to write in your own blood.
Yes, we'll give you our phone number at the very end of this podcast.
Yes.
Call us and let us know how much blood, or even if it's possible to use blood to write letters.
Yes.
And so now we cut out to Springfield Penitentiary, America's fastest growing prison.
Oh,
I mean, how many criminals are in the town of Springfield?
I mean,
we see how full the penitentiary is.
Yeah. Well, also, I mean, maybe they're busing other prisoners in from out of town.
So is it a private or a state-funded prison?
Well, prison is usually a federal jail.
Okay.
So if it's federal, I mean, it's probably taxpayer funded, but if it's also federal, they will bring other criminals in from out of.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a fast-growing prison.
Yeah.
For all the criminals apparently that are around the town of Springfield.
Yeah.
So now Snake is getting released on parole.
Probably shouldn't be, but
probably not after all the crimes times he shot up who and cars he's robbed and stuff like that. And so Bob says goodbye on his way to his parole hearing. Well, apparently Sideshow Bob uses
eloquent words
that Snake has no clue what they mean. And so now this turns into a courtroom hearing somehow.
So I've never been to prison or jail, so I don't know how parole works.
Well, I've seen enough TV shows where it's nothing like this. Parole is usually 3 people at a table.
Which they do. But
then they talk to,
witnesses.
They do talk to, well, not really witnesses. It's usually the victims. Of it, and they're usually in the audience, but there's not like a jury or like anything like that.
Usually it's like just a room off to the side.
Yeah, it's
with cops.
It's a 3, and even some, like if you guys have ever seen like Ocean's 11, the opening scene to that, it's just 3 guys at a table, no one in the back, nothing. Yeah. It's just a parole hearing.
I mean, I think the part of the reason for the gallery is for some of the sight gags.
Yes, no, I completely get that, but you still wouldn't necessarily need the jury, the supposed jury.
Well, there is no jury. It's just the gallery.
No. Remember, there's the people sitting in the chairs, and then off to the side where the blue-haired lawyer is talking, he's talking to like 12 people up on high benches. That kind of looks like a jury.
I think he was just talking to the gallery.
No, go watch it again. There's people sitting off to the side. And so Wiggum's like, Sideshow Bob has no decency. He called me Chief Pigum. And everyone starts laughing like, oh, I get it. So Selma tells the panel, that's there, that Bob tried to kill her on her honeymoon, and the blue-haired lawyer's there. He's like,
how many people
want to kill her right now? And everyone, a few people start raising their hand. Be honest. And then everyone else raises their hand.
There's a priest that raises his hand.
And Patty raises her hand, too.
She forgets to put down the toilet seat. Why is she
lifting it up in the first place?
Yeah.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
And so now the blue-haired lawyer, Sideshow Bob's, on the podium, and he's like, Robert, if released, would you pose any threat to one Bart Simpson? Bart Simpson? Ha! That spirited little scamp who twice foiled my evil schemes and sent me to this dank, urine-soaked hellhole. And then the pro-ops are like, we object to the term urine-soaked hellhole, when you could have said pee-pee-soaked heckhole. Cheerfully withdrawn. It's so good. I love it.
Yeah.
And so, and then the blue-haired lawyer also says, don't you have a tattoo on your chest that reads, Die Bart, die? And he's like, oh, no.
It's German.
That's German for D Bart. D.
The Bart. The.
No, it says D Bart. D.
Right.
Why would it be the? There's no T in it.
Because it's German and he's translating it.
Yeah, no, he's saying D Bart D. He never actually translated what that meant. He said D Bart D. And everyone's like, oh, right, that makes sense. And no, that's German for, oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You're
the
right.
Bart the.
Yeah. I don't know why he'd have that on his chest. Seems really weird. I think it says Die Bart Die.
Well, it does say Die Bart Die.
I think I'm going to go with that. And so she's like, well, there's no one that speaks German that can be an evil man. Yeah, I think we're not going to go there, but no. I feel like there's some German man that's evil. Yeah. So, yeah. And so Bob gets paroled.
And as they're stamping the word parole on his folder, we see a reference. So in his mugshot, I guess it was, he's holding up a thing that reads A113, which is a reference to anybody out there who's watched Pixar movies. That is the room where a lot of I think it's like the ideas or where they like animated the stuff at I think it's the college. I can't quite remember the reference. I know I'm close.
It's A113 is an inside joke, an Easter egg in media developed by alumni of California Institute of the Arts, referring to the classroom used by graphic design and character animation students, including John Lannister, Tim Burton, Michael Preza, and Brad Bird.
Yeah, so there you go. So, but here's the thing. I'm pretty sure The Simpsons did it first.
No, I don't think so.
This is 93. The first Pixar movie to come out was Toy Story.
It's not just Pixar. I told you Tim Burton and other people did it. I literally listed other artists that have used it.
Yeah, but have you actually seen it in their works?
Until recently, I never knew that something like that existed. But here, let me see.
Well, Steve checks to see when the first A113 Easter egg was made.
First appearance was from director Brad Bird in The Incredibles. It was in those movies. He put it on a car license plate in Family Dog, an animated segment from the 1987 TV series Amazing Stories.
So 1987, wow.
So yes,
that is an old Easter egg. Yes. Holy crap. It's what, 35, almost 35 years old.
Yep.
Jeez. Yeah. So now we cut to the Aztec, which is playing Ernest Goes Somewhere Cheap, which is an obvious reference to the Ernest movies. And so we see the Simpsons, watching the movie.
They have to be the only ones there. The Simpsons and Sideshow Bob.
So, and we hear, we see cigar smoke, and we see Sideshow Bob is laughing really, really loudly at it. And he's just ruining the movie. And this scene is similar to the poor conduct of Max Cady, played by Robert De Niro, in a movie house where he laughs loudly at the film Problem Child, annoying the other moviegoers in the 91 remake of Cape Feare, which I've also never seen. So there you go. Bob's ruining everything because it's Bob. And so, Bart and Lisa are passing away the smoke. Marge calls him a horrible person. Homer is like, how dare he? And Homer, with the cigar, and Homer is, smoking a comically large cigar that says Knoxville World's Fair 1983.
Which is now the first instance of the Knoxville World Fair.
It is. But
we will explain the next Knoxville World Fair.
But that wasn't that Knoxville World's Fair like 66 or something?
No, it was 83.
Was it 83? Okay. So Homer is about to tell Bob, or Homer kind of tells Bob to knock it off. And then there's another scene in the movie, and Homer starts laughing, much to Bob's annoyance. And Homer like slaps him on the back, saying, "Oh, that's really funny." And Bob's like, "Really? That seems a bit too much." And he reveals himself to the family, and the kids, are like, "Ah, Sideshow Bob!"
What are the odds that they both wound up at the same theater on the same night?
I don't know. Well, Bob's a free man. Maybe he wanted to go see an Ernest movie.
That's the first movie I want to see when I get out of prison.
Yeah. And so Marge calls him an awful, awful man and to stay away from her son. Rightfully so. And so he's like, "Oh, I'll stay away from your son. I'll stay away from him forever." I love how Homer like yelps a little bit at that. And then they all realize, wait, that's actually a good thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, and Bob's like, wait. He's like, "Oh, wait, that didn't really work." And he walks away, and then he walks back. He's like, wait, I got a good one now. Marge, say the line again. No. Bob does a little thing.
That's great. I love when Marge just puts her foot down on Sideshow Bob.
This line kind of reminds me of Archer, because he says that a lot. He's like, "Oh, I had something for this." So I wonder if that's where Archer got it from. Was maybe
I've always been there when I want to say something. I have a good comeback or a good line. I say something stupid instead.
Yeah.
They're like, "Wait a minute, I could have said that instead."
Oh,
say the line.
I mean, trust me, I've laid awake many a nights being like, "Crap, I should have said that instead." So now we cut to Bob working out in his apartment or halfway house or wherever he is.
Yeah.
And he's got a tattoo on his back of Bart's severed head on a skateboard where the head is saying, "Ouch, man."
Now, where was he getting his tattoos? In prison or at a tattoo parlor?
Probably both. Prison?
I don't know. I feel like the next tattoos he got in prison.
It's probably. So now we see him pumping iron with his fist. And on one of his knuckles, they read "love," spelled L-U-V.
Yep.
And the other one that's spelled is "hate," and it's spelled H-A with it was a line across it.
Yeah, it's a phonic. It's like one of those. It's A is the phonic long A with the line above it.
Oh.
It's like when you read in the dictionary how it tells you to pronounce things. The line above it is a long A.
Hey, gotcha. So hate.
Because he only has 3 fingers.
Love,
L-U-V, 3 fingers. Hey, now he could have done his thumb, but I think when you hold the bar and do this, you can't really, unless you that would suck the tattoo like your fingernails.
Yes, we are miming how to lift weights because nobody can see what we're doing.
Right, this isn't a video podcast.
Not yet, anyways. And then he's also doing a workout video. As well.
Bend and stretch and turn and flex and bend and stretch and turn and flex. He just went from pumping iron to do like a jazzercise video.
And so now we cut to the Simpsons house and we see it's booby trapped because Sideshow Bob might try to kill
strings everywhere and they all come to fruition at a Krusty the Clown doll
in the kitchen. And so Wiggum's the one that's setting up the booby trap.
Why is he even there?
Because he's the cop and he's helping catch.
Oh my god!
Sideshow Bob.
Oh my god!
And Homer's like, well, the Smirky's like, well, once a man's inside your house, it's legal to do anything that you want. He kind of winks at him, and Homer's like, really? And he sticks his head out the kitchen window. "Hey, Flanders, come over into my kitchen." And so Flanders is coming over. Homer's standing at the door, like pounding his fist.
Ready to punch him.
And Wiggum's like, "It's not going to work if you invite him in." I'm like, what is this, vampires?
Yeah, the booby trap that was set up was meant for vampires. Oh, wait, not for vampires. So is Flanders a vampire?
No, he's the devil.
Right. I don't think even the devil's allowed into your home unless you invite him in.
Well, he's the devil. He can do whatever he
Maybe.
wants. But so I love how Flanders walks in and Wiggum says that and he's like, "Hi-dly-ho," and Homer's like, "Get out of here, diddly-doo." And so then Homer tries to go to some like I don't know what they're called. He wasn't a PI. Is he like just I don't know what the guy is, but Homer goes to some guy.
I don't know if you
a tough guy
or PI, something like that.
And he's like, "Hey, can you get Bob to leave?" And the guy's like, "Oh, I can be very persuasive." And he puts a gun in his jacket, and then he goes to this bar called the Aristocrat,
which is I don't know what that meaning.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a certain meaning to that, or
I don't know. But we go inside.
Could have went to Moe's. Could have been Moe's, but they decided to go that route.
And so we go inside, and the guy's just like, "Please leave."
Oh, come on. You'd be my friend.
Oh, you're so mean. Yeah, really persuasive. And I love how Bob's like, no,
I'm not going to leave.
And so now we cut to probably the next day, and Bob's in an ice cream truck thing.
Driving around.
And he's like, "The following people in the city of Springfield will not be killed by me." And he goes, Maud Flanders, Ned Flanders. Now, mind you, he left off Rod and Todd.
Yeah, because they immediately jumped to Homer Simpson.
So did he not know? Did he not know about
Lisa
Rod?
Simpson.
Does he not know about Rod and Todd?
I mean, he didn't say literally any other names in the town.
I know it's just the Flanders and the Simpsons.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe the rest of the
and the little baby Simpson.
Well, maybe he's gonna kill the rest of the neighborhood, or we didn't actually hear him list off the rest of the neighborhood. I'm gonna go with the first option because it's Sideshow Bob.
Or maybe Sideshow Bob really has it in for Rod and Todd Flanders. I mean, they are annoying little kids too.
Yeah, and so he goes Homer Simpson, Marge Simpson, Lisa Simpson, the little baby Simpson, and then he just stops.
That is all.
And then
And then Homer busts into Bart's room. Woohoo! Oh, sorry. And then slinks out of his room. And so this is classic right here. Classic Simpsons. For I mean, it'll and everything. The classic. This is amazing. So we go to the witness relocation program, which I feel like they do this for witnesses that are going to testify.
Yes.
Not necessarily for people that are going to be killed, because it's not Minority Report. You can't just arrest people for future crimes.
I mean, you can get so basically the first step would have been getting a restraining order.
Yes, which I don't think they ever did.
Probably not.
Because Wiggum wouldn't do that because it's not, it's not against,
it is against the
law.
So, but again, Bob did it while he was in prison.
Yep.
But I suppose, you could go with the letters, but they don't know who's sending it.
Yep, exactly.
So, I mean, now if they had found out it was Bob, that's a whole different story. And
they could have started with they could have started with restraining order and not, I don't know, it seems kind of weird. I mean, it seems kind of weird.
Well, but here's the other thing, too. He's going around the neighborhood telling the people who he's not going to kill.
They have just arrested him again for threatening?
Yeah, that is definitely threatening, and that's probably breaking parole.
Parole, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with the rest of this episode should probably not be happening.
But anyway, they wind up at the witness relocation program, and Homer's like, "Ooh, I want to be John Elway." And he imagines himself as John Elway, who played for the Denver Broncos. And
this will not be the first reference to the Denver Broncos.
No, it will not. And so Homer scores a touchdown, only for the final score to be 10-7. I like how he celebrated. San Francisco 56 in Super Bowl 30. And it's so weird to me that of all the football references, of all the football predictions they've had through this entire show, that they couldn't give us the real teams for Super Bowl 30? Or has Super Bowl 30 not happened yet?
Super Bowl 30 was in 96. So this is
it hasn't happened yet. So they couldn't technically.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they could have predicted. Now, if they predicted that.
At least Dallas versus the Steelers, that would have been amazing.
Yes. If they would have actually predicted that. Because, it just seems kind of crazy. 3 years off.
And the Cowboys beat the Steelers for anybody who cares.
So, but Simpsons writers thought Denver and San Francisco, which, I mean, those two teams were great in the 90s. So,
yeah.
I mean, I could definitely see that prediction could have come true. It would have been a good pull. And yeah.
Marge does not like...
Marge doesn't like that idea. She doesn't like the whole idea of witness protection.
Yeah.
And so now, the witness protection is like, well, we can relocate you to certain towns, Cape Feare, Terror Lake, New Horrorfield, and Screamville. Ooh, Ice Creamville. No, that's Screamville. Yeah. That's a good place to go. And so now we get the Homer Thompson bit. Okay, well, how about we just call you Homer Thompson? Okay. So when I say hello, Mr. Thompson, you say hello. Hello, Mr. Thompson.
Just stares blankly at him.
Now remember, you're Mr. Thompson.
Okay.
Hello, Mr. Thompson. And then now we cut to another scene. It's like, okay, when I say hello, Mr. Thompson, and stamp on your foot, you say hello.
Got it.
Hello, Mr. Thompson.
I think he's talking to you. To the other relocation guy.
Oh my god. Oh, that is so great.
I love it.
So eventually Homer must have finally got it. He must have picked it up. Yeah. And they're in the car in a convertible.
Yeah.
Because government really, was like, sure, here you guys go. And they play the Gilbert. It comes with the Gilbert and Sullivan tapes in the convertible in the glove box that the government gives the Simpsons.
That the FBI, I think, sang.
Yes. Oh, too little, too long. We 3 little guys from school. And so, and so then we cut underneath the car, and Bob is strapped himself underneath the convertible. How did he even get there?
He snuck in. I think it's been debunked that you can hide underneath a car like that because it's so low to the ground.
A car. I would say a van, truck.
A truck maybe if it's like a little bit higher, but I don't even know if a van. Because, even our mom's SUV is pretty low to the ground.
Yeah. So, I like how... Now, I don't want to know where they're driving.
Yeah.
Because, first of all, Homer's like, oh, dumb speed bumps. Why are there speed bumps in the middle of a highway
maybe if they're coming up to a stop sign. Because I know...
Speed bumps. Like, they have the vibrating things. Like, when you're on, like... So, I don't know if anyone knows this. When you're on county roads in, like, middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, Minnesota, stuff like that... Because they're afraid you're going to fall asleep in the middle of nowhere.
Fall asleep, or they want you to slow down.
They actually put the vibrating... So the vibrating things are normally like on the sides of highways.
That way, if you do fall asleep...
And merge over. But in the rural areas, they actually put those vibrating things on roads so that way you know you're coming to a stop.
Yes.
That I could have got. Speed bumps, you're supposed to only go like 5 miles an hour over those things anyway.
And it looked like Homer was going like 20.
Yeah. And Bob's underneath getting his head bashed into
He's got a few concussions.
Yes. And so then Homer's drinking some coffee. He's like, ooh, hot, and throws it over the side of the convertible. And, Bob screams. It's like, hey, kids, who wants to drive through a cactus patch? Yes. No. 2 against 1. Like, who did Homer think said that? Maggie?
Yeah. Also, I'd like to point out, Bob is either severely injured or dead after this entire ordeal.
Yeah, and so Homer goes driving through a cactus patch. So once again, I believe they're maybe they're driving to Arizona from Utah? Driving from Utah to Arizona?
Yeah.
Yeah, go through a cactus patch.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. And so now we get the parody of the Simpsons opening theme. The Thompsons.
And
then we get Welcome to Terror Lake.
Yep.
And then we get a couch gag where the Simpsons go in on... I like how they... No driveway, no nothing like that. They pull in, open the car doors, all 4 of them, get out, and leave the car doors wide open.
Yeah.
And go into their boathouse, and fish get dumped on them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, boathouse, fish. Makes sense.
Good. I don't know who stores fish in their boathouse above their couch. I guess it could probably be smelly, all that dead fish in there. But, it's the Simpsons. They do a lot of different weird things.
Yeah.
And so then we cut out, and Homer's wearing a witness relocation program hat and t-shirt.
That kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah. And Homer makes a joke about moving your houseboat if your neighbors don't like you.
Well, if you don't like your neighbors, you can just pick up and move.
Move away, and they all start laughing really loud, and then you see all the people move away. That'd be great, though.
Yeah.
I'd be like, ooh, cool.
I don't like my neighbors, but I like my house.
Yep. And so Bob drops out from underneath the car. All has cacti spikes in them, all worn. And
shirt ripped up.
Now, not like the Funko Pop where he's actually wearing his orange jumpsuit from prison.
He does have a rake, though.
He does have a rake.
What's in his other hand? Is that a towel?
A towel, it looks like. I kind of wish they would have gone tattered look with Sideshow Bob.
That would have been cool.
They would have been a little bit more on
Especially
brand.
if he's holding the rake.
Exactly. That would have been more on brand. And he gets under the car, immediately steps on a rake. Then he turns around. Whack.
So, where did these rakes come from?
Really poor landscapers that work on the dock at the boat.
Why would you need rakes at a boathouse?
Well, no. It's I don't know. I'm sure there's grass. I mean, it's like I'd say like a trailer park for boats. There's still grass and landscaping that probably has to be done around the area.
Maybe.
Would you like to know how many rakes Sideshow Bob stepped on?
I would like to know that. Yes,
9 rakes. He stepped on 9 rakes.
Does that include the one on the houseboat?
Yeah, no. It says just 9 rakes when he reaches the Thompsons' houseboat.
Okay. So 10 in total.
10 in total.
Jeez. That's kind of a running gag. I think they did it in a couple other episodes.
Oh, they did. They did it in a few other Sideshow Bob episodes.
I love it. So then we cut back into the houseboat, and they're putting their things up that they brought from their house. And Marge is like, "Where's the dog?" And Homer is like, "Oh, I tied him up out back." And then we cut out back, and Sailor Loper's swimming. He's so happy, but he's going to kill himself.
Yeah, because he's twirling around the post.
Yeah.
And he's going to choke himself on the thing unless he knows to swim the other direction.
Yeah, maybe.
See, what you do in those situations, folks, if you ever tie your dog, I don't think you should tie your dog up in the ocean, but if you ever want to tie your dog up to a area outside, make sure that the post can spin in circles so it doesn't wrap around trees or anything. Yeah. They do make those.
Nice. And so, then we cut back, and Marge is worried about starting a new life. But Homer reassures her he tied up all the loose ends of their old life. Yeah. But we cut to the Simpsons' house where Abe is like,
I forgot my pills.
I need my pills. Hello. I love the outcome.
And we will tell you why Abe needs his pills.
So then Bart is wandering around his new home and home. Yeah. Hometown.
Yep.
And a car pulls up with a nice little old lady in it. And you hear Sideshow Bob go, "Hello, Bart." And Bart sees the old lady and just screams. He's down here. Yeah. He's once again underneath the car.
That's a good mode of transportation for Bob.
Maybe.
He has big feet. He can walk places fast, right?
Maybe. So then Bart's like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "What is it? There's no harm in laying in a public street. And unless, they just happen to be doing a parade with a walking band and elephants." And I'd also like to point out this time Bob is officially dead because he got trampled by elephants.
Several elephants. What did those elephants say?
Those elephants had banners on their back that read, "Terror Lake salutes Hannibal crossing the Alps," which, for those of you who don't know, like me, Hannibal's crossing of the Alps in 218 BC was one of the major events of the Second Punic War, and one of the most celebrated achievements of any military force in ancient warfare. Hannibal managed to lead his Carthaginian army over the Alps and into Italy to take the war directly to the Roman Republic, bypassing Roman and Allied land garrisons and Roman naval dominance.
Yeah.
That's pretty freaking incredible.
Climbing the Alps, going around everyone. Yeah. That's
good.
Tough trek. I don't know if anyone's ever climbed the Alps, but this is a tough trek.
Yeah? Have you climbed the Alps?
I have not.
But you've been to Italy.
I've been to Italy.
But you never went to the Alps.
Nope, never went to the Alps.
Yeah, let's boo on you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm pretty sure Sideshow Bob is actually dead, and the rest of this episode is Bart's imagination.
Yeah.
So now Bart goes home, and Homer and Marge are in their little kitchenette of the houseboat. And he tells Homer and Marge he saw Bob, and that Bob threatened to kill him. Bart's like, "Don't interrupt." What, him drinking beer?
Yeah.
What are you doing? And then Homer's like, "That's not serious at all." And Marge's
First of all, well, I guess Sideshow Bob found him because he tried going to I'm like, well, how did he find them? But I guess Sideshow Bob has been stalking the Simpsons ever since the beginning.
Yeah. So then we cut to it's a dark and dreary night. We go to the Bates Motel, which is reference to the movie Psycho.
Yep.
And which is awesome. And we cut in, and Bob's writing out his list on how he's going to kill Bart.
Yep. I don't think I have that.
No. So then we cut in back to the houseboat, and Bart's trying to sleep, and Homer runs into his.
Wasn't he writing in blood again too?
I don't. Maybe he might have been.
He didn't learn his lesson.
No. So now we cut to Bart's room, and he's trying to go to bed, but Homer runs in screaming. He's like, "Bart, do you want some brownies?" And he's wielding a butcher's knife. And Bart wakes up screaming, rightfully so. And Homer's like, "But I just wanted to give you brownies. Take one." And Bart's
they're fresh out of the oven.
Bart's like, "Dad, I'm really on edge with this whole Sideshow Bob thing." Right. Okay. Bart, do you want to see my Hockey Mackson chainsaw?
Hey, Bart, check out my new chainsaw and Hockey Mackson.
Right, the Sideshow Bob thing. Where are my manners? What am I thinking?
Yeah.
You're Homer. You're not thinking.
Yep.
And so Bob swims. Why did he get in the water to get onto the houseboat? Because they're on the dock.
Yeah.
And so when he goes up and he steps on yet another rake, which he tosses off. And he cuts the rope to the houseboat. Now
I like how his hair's all down and he's shakes off like a dog and it all twirls back up.
Oh, that's pretty good. And so yeah, now Bob is on the boat with the Simpsons, and we're floating down the river. And so Bob goes into Bart's room wielding his machete because he's ready to kill Bob. And is that kind of a reference to Michael Myers? A little bit? Or Jason?
Jason's the machete.
Yeah. Is that a little bit of a reference to Jason? He's not wearing the hockey mask.
No, and I almost wonder if Homer was supposed to be a Jason reference too.
But he had the chainsaw.
Mask. Yeah, not a machete. But I feel like...
That would be like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Jason and Leatherface and Jason mashed together.
Oh boy, that's so Bob comes in wielding the machete, and Bart sees him and screams out for Marge and Homer, and Bob's like, they're not going to help you. And we cut, and Bob's tied up Lisa, Homer, Maggie to Marge, the cat, and the dog.
Yes, he got them all.
He got them all, and Homer is sleeping and drooling, and Lisa's like, Homer's being drugged, and Marge's like, no, he hasn't.
Apparently Homer could sleep through
a mugging?
A mugging?
Yeah. So then, Bart, Bob attacks. Bart attacks Bob. Bart escapes through his window in the houseboat, and he's trying to get off. And he goes to one side, and we see, was that an alligator, crocodile?
Alligator, crocodile.
And he's like, and then he runs to the other side of the boat, and then we'll get electric eels. And he goes back. He's like, right, the alligator. And so Bob comes out, wielding the machete, ready to kill him. And he's like, any last requests? And Bart, sees that there's a sign that says Springfield is 15 miles away. And he goes, yeah, there's one. But
I do like to point out now that, so I don't know how long they've been floating. But if they're 15 miles from Springfield, their Windows relocation program did not put them very far away.
I mean, you assume if you're driving to Springfield to Terror Lake, at maximum, they're 20 miles away, and you're going, 60 miles an hour? You're 20 minutes away?
Now, would this be like the Colorado River? Maybe they went, no, there's no Cactus North, and there's no real lakes in Arizona area.
No.
I don't know. We're getting,
maybe New Mexico?
Maybe. I guess I don't know what the lake... And plus, if they went south, rivers don't flow north. They fly east. They usually go east-west at an angle, or north-south.
Yeah.
This.
So maybe Terror Lake is north. Well, there could be cactuses in Utah.
Yeah,
it's desert.
Yeah,
or they're in Nevada.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay,
well,
perfect.
Well, maybe not Nevada because then they would be traveling west.
Well, they could go. Colorado River, I think, actually goes east to west or west to east. I think so. I think if I'm remembering that correctly.
Okay.
But yes, Bart's like, go on, Bart. And he's like, well, could you sing the entire score to the HMS Pinafore?
And we'll get to a minute how long it is.
And so, just to let you guys know, if you've never heard of the HMS Pinafore, if you guys are listening to a Simpsons podcast and don't know what this whole HMS Pinafore thing is, I'm sad for you. But it is a comic opera in 2 acts with music by Arthur Sullivan and libretto by W.S. Gilbert.
Sullivan and Gilbert, which they listen to on their drive to wherever they are.
Yes.
Gilbert and Sullivan.
Gilbert and Sullivan. And so Bob's like, all right, Bart, I will send you to heaven before I send you to hell.
But Bart's already been to hell.
Yes, he has. And so Bob starts singing the HMS Pinafore, and now we get a montage of costume changes and Bart joining in, and Bart, eating popcorn, and he has the playbill to the HMS Pinafore,
which just has Bob's likeness on the front.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just another one of those Looney Tunes references where Bugs does costume changes and stuff like that, and Bob was also apparently handed flowers by a mystery hand when he's all done. So for those of you that don't know, the HMS Pinafore is 90 minutes long, and we learn that they're 15 miles away, roughly, when Sideshow Bob starts. And so the boat would be traveling about 6 miles an hour to get to the town of Springfield, which, with no motor, no force, so this would just be the wind and the river.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. I actually would think. So the funny thing about it is a lot of people always say that movie time frames, TV show time frames, never match up with real life. Well, I would say this matches up
with real life.
Real life. I would say this is pretty damn good.
I mean, when I went canoeing on the Missouri River out in Montana, we did do a day of sailing. We taped our oars together and used the tarps as sails, because obviously we're in canoes. Sails. But it was so windy, and we, the back people were kind of the rudders to steer, and we were going at a pretty good clip with just the wind. Now, obviously, this is just a boat. There's no sails. So I'm going to go 6 miles an hour. It's a decent clip.
Yeah, I like it. And so now the houseboat crashes into a rock, which, with no one actually steering this boat, I'm surprised it went 15 miles without hitting anything.
Yeah.
And it crashes into an area near a brothel, which is pretty lucky.
Yeah.
And Wiggum, Lou, and Eddie are just out there in bathrobes. And it drifted by the brothel, and Bart this is the first instance of a brothel. We don't get the brothel episode for another seasons? 7, 8, 9, 6 seasons maybe.
Yeah, because that's where Bart works.
Yeah, exactly. So the Springfield brothel, I like how no one knew about it except for Wiggum, Eddie, and Lou.
Yeah, but when we get to that episode,
we do learn that the entire town has actually been there.
Yeah.
So Bart explains that he needed time. So Wiggum's like, hold it right there, Sideshow Bob. You're under arrest. And Bob's like, by Lucifer's beard. Yeah. It's a good thing you drifted by this brothel. Bart's like, I knew I had to buy some time. So I asked him to sing the score to the HMS Pinafore. Ooh, a plan fiendishly clever in its intricacies.
That would be Homer Simpson, by the way.
Yep. And Bart's like, take him away, boys. And Chief Wiggum's like, hey, I'm the chief here. Bake them away, toys. What did you say, Chief? Do what the kid says.
Bake them away, toys.
Bake them away, toys.
I feel like for me, this might be the first instance because, with some of my friends will interchange words and letters like that. So I kind of wonder if The Simpsons might have started that trend, or if this has just been going on for years and years and years, and it just happens to go into everybody's lexicon.
Yeah.
When they get a little bit older, they like to word play with letters.
Yeah. Oh, that was funny. I love that. And so now the Simpsons, Sideshow Bob's arrested so they can get out of the relocation program.
Yep.
And they head home. And they're like, oh, we're glad we're home. And we see Grandpa run up to the car. See what happens when I don't have my pills. And Grandpa has basically, and they must have been hormone pills.
Maybe.
That's the only thing. I mean, he turned into a woman.
Yeah.
It's like testosterone, loss of testosterone. He grew boobs, hair. Apparently Abe was like, well, if I'm going to be a woman, I'm going to put on makeup.
Yeah.
And apparently he's just been hanging outside the Simpsons home, or does he go back to the retirement home?
Well, why would the retirement home have his hormone pills?
Exactly. We all know the retirement home gives out the pills.
Yeah.
I don't know. Really weird. Unless it's like one of those things where Abe's like, I don't want anyone to know that I will turn into a woman if I don't have my pills.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know. It seems really weird.
Yeah.
And so Marge is like, Bart, go get your grandfather's pills. And Jess was like, hey, wait a minute. I want to court this young lady. And he's like, oh, there's something I got to tell you. Well, I got tickets to, I couldn't remember the name of the show. And he was like, oh, okay.
I'm all yours.
I'm all yours.
And then we end the episode.
We have the episode. So I'm going to say everything's coming up, Millhouse. There is nothing wrong with this entire episode at all. Front to back. They're starting season 5 with a bang. They started this episode season amazing.
Yeah.
Homer's Barbershop Quartet, followed by Cape Feare. Nothing wrong. Yeah. Sideshow Bob episodes, in my opinion, I mean, some of the new ones, they're not necessarily the best Sideshow Bob episodes, but they hold together.
Yeah.
But hands down, of all the Sideshow Bob episodes thus far, this is hands down my favorite.
And the funny thing is, I'm pretty sure this was supposed to be the season finale for season 4.
And this would have been an amazing way to end
season 4.
Yeah. But I think, didn't they do but Black Widower was season 4 Sideshow Bob episode.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So having 2 in the same season.
That would be kind of overkill. Not really overkill, because who cares? You can have enough. But yeah, everything's coming up, Millhouse. There's literally no reason anyone shouldn't have this Sideshow Bob episode on their must-watch list.
By Lucifer's Beard, I agree.
Yes.
It's a 5. Everything's coming up, Millhouse. This is quintessential Simpsons viewing. Watch it, enjoy it, get some HMS Pinafore in your life. Also, HMS Pinafore that Bob sings is on the album. So you know I'm going to like this episode. It's going to be at least a 4, but obviously it's Cape Feare, it's Sideshow Bob, it's a 5, everything's coming up Millhouse. It's fantastic. Homer was not drugged. He could just sleep through anything. There's nothing, I can't even be nitpicky. Like, yeah, they shoehorn Nelson in to laugh at Homer's wide load tattoo, but I mean, come on, that's hilarious. The references are great. You know, you have Bart getting frightened. He's on edge, and everybody's like, "I'm gonna get you, Bart." Yeah, something nice. Like, this is so good. 40 whacks with a wet noodle, Bart.
Yep, there's absolutely nothing. This is a quotable episode, front to back. I mean, anyone who's seen this episode would definitely, be able to.
Hello, Mr. Thompson.
Yes. Nothing wrong with this episode by far. If you don't like this episode, you're not my friend. You're not my friend if you don't. You're
trash.
And so let's finish it off with our character profile. We're finally getting to him. Sideshow Bob!
Yes!
I'm sure everyone's been wondering, okay, they've already done 2 Sideshow Bob episodes. Where the hell is our Sideshow Bob character profile? Well, here it is, guys.
Yes.
Here you go. His position, he is a master thespian turned hardened convict. And he's second banana on the Krusty the Clown show.
Yes, well, he's the sideshow.
His real name is Bob Terwilliger.
Well, technically Robert Terwilliger.
Yeah. His description is red spiked hair, green hula skirt, oversized red shoes that houses oversized feet.
As we learned in the...
But he really doesn't wear this anymore.
No?
He wears mostly suits now.
Lame.
Yeah.
Lame.
He should just walk. He's not a sideshow on Krusty the Clown show anymore. Why is he wearing his signature sideshow look?
Lame.
Sideshow Mel's wearing the signature look now. Yeah. His career pinnacle is a prison production of Evita.
Did we get to that yet?
I don't think we've gotten to that yet.
Okay.
Ultimate dream, until recently, to kill Bart Simpson.
Yeah, don't they eventually in season 30 or 31 they're actually friends now?
Yeah. Oh no. It's I think as when his brother comes to town, or Sideshow Bob eventually become
the one that's voiced by Niles from Frasier. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get his name. His hobby, oozing refinement.
I don't know what that means.
Trying to make himself better. He's always trying to make himself better.
By killing Bart Simpson.
Attempted murder. Now, honestly, what is that? Do they give a Nobel Prize for attempted chemistry? Yes. All right, guys. So let's finish it up for where you guys can find us. Head over to Instagram, Simpsons Did It Pod. Facebook, Simpsons Did It Podcast. Just search us there. If you guys want to tag us on any Simpsons related stuff, at the Simpsons Did It Pod. You can head over to Twitter, Simpsons Did It PC. We are going to start posting our stuff over there. I don't know how much content will be there, but I'll let you know all of our new episodes will end up going there.
Okay.
Because our hosting site finally added that into the when you add an episode to it automatically can link you over to Twitter.
Nice.
So that's kind of cool. I do like that. That's awesome. So you'll start seeing stuff on our Twitter. Hopefully I'll start posting other things if we can link all that stuff together.
And maybe some Simpsons memes.
Yeah.
Simpsons quotes.
I'm actually thinking about changing up my weekly repertoire of ads.
Okay.
So and Twitter will help me do that.
Yeah.
You can find all of our backlogged episodes on YouTube as video podcasts. Just type in The Simpsons Did It. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment if you like. We'll read them on episodes, so your comments and stuff do not go unnoticed. We respond to you on Instagram. We respond to you on Facebook, on Twitter. So, and I'm sure anyone who's followed us does know that we make sure we keep everyone engaged.
Yeah.
Lastly, head over to buymeacoffee.com/Simpsons Did It. Donate to our cause, and you can get some free stickers for doing so. And all your donations go to production, making new product for you guys. We're building up hopefully a repertoire here soon, and you guys can have some new stuff. And we do apologize for new stuff not coming out. Just life's gotten in the way, and we just haven't had time to set it up.
We'll get you there, guys.
We'll get you there. Lastly, we have a phone number. For those of you guys that have called it, awesome, and listened to our special guest do a Krusty the Clown thing. But be sure to call. For those of you that don't know by now, Jaden LeBron actually did the voiceover work for our phone number. So if you don't want to leave us a message, that's cool. We'd like to hear some messages. But if you want to go just hear Jaden just do his thing, dial 612-584-0986 and just have a listen.
Yeah.
So until next time, I'm your host, Stephen Thompson.
And I'm your co-host, Robert Thompson.
This has been
The Thompsons.
The Thompsons did it. Goodbye, everyone.
Shh.